Good morning, Year 3. I hope you're well and ready to do some maths today. Now, this week, as you know, we've been learning about length, and with Miss Coslow, you've been learning how to measure things that are more than a metre long. I'm hoping you'll be using one of these tape measures to do that as well. Today, we're going to start something slightly different. So let's have a look at our question for today and see what we think about this. So, what is the distance between Billingshurst and Horsham? How would you work this out accurately, and what measurement would you use? So you've got 3 questions there to think about. No cheating. Do not look on the internet to find out the answer, but go away and have a think. Pause me now, and when you're ready, in about 5 minutes, come back. Okay, have you thought of the answers? Good, well done. So what's the distance between Billingshurst and Horsham? That is a tricky one, but I do know that I would not use one of these to find it out, because it would take rather a long time, and I'd probably need to do this quite a few times. So I'm not going to use a tape measure, so I'm not going to be measuring in meters necessarily. Centimetres, far too small. There'll be a lot of rulers between Billingshurst and Horsham. So how would I work that accurately? And what measurement would I use? Well, I'll give you a clue. I live in Horsham and I come to school every single day, usually, to Billingshurst. So to work out that measurement, I normally look at my car and it tells me how far I'm travelling. Or you might look on the map as well, because that also tells you how far. And when I've looked on my car, on my map, it tells me that the distance between Horsham and Billingshurst is, oh, look, it's got confused there, 12 kilometres and 500 metres. Kilometres, or kilometres as I say sometimes, I do apologise. Kilometres is a funny word, isn't it? We know about metres because we've been learning about them quite a lot, but kilometres is a funny word, but that's how you measure longer distances. In England, we also use the word mile to measure different lengths, but mile is kind of more of an old-fashioned term. So really, we now use the metric system, which includes kilometres, okay? So sometimes your mum and dad might say, it's 7 miles to wherever, but we at school learn about kilometres. That's a different thing from miles. It's a different unit of measurement, a bit like inches on your tape measure. Okay, so the distance between Horsham and Billingshurst is 12 kilometres or kilometres and 500 metres, or you could say 12.5 kilometres. Okay, so to work that out accurately, then I would use my car, because my car records how many kilometres I travel. Okay, I wouldn't use centimetres and I wouldn't use metres necessarily, because its distance is too far. So what do you think we're learning about today? Let's have a look at our learning intention hiding under here. Yeah, there we go. We're learning about kilometres and converting them into metres and the other way around. So you might be thinking, well, what is a kilometre? How many metres are in a kilometre? Well, there's a clue in the name. So if you have a look at the prefix kilo, that means times 1,000, or 1,000 of the units in question. So a kilometre means 1,000 metres. Don't forget that, 1,000 metres. Okay, like a kilogram, which means 1,000 grams. There are 1,000 metres in a kilometre and 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So the word kilo means 1,000. That helps you remember, because sometimes it's a bit tricky to remember it's 100 or 1,000. But in a kilometre and a kilogram, there are 1,000 units. Okay, don't forget that. Oh, I've got this picture of this man here with a wheel, because this is how, in the olden days, they used to measure kilometres. They've got this wheel, and every time it goes around, it clicks. Okay, so that's how they measure like metres and kilometres. Today, if they're going to measure distances and they're not in the car, they use lasers and things like that. It's all very clever. Right, so here we go. This is our first problem of the day, which we're going to do together. So we've got a picture of a cable car, very wintry, and it says here the distance from the cable car station, which I think is this, to the mountain top here is 1 kilometre, 650 metres. So we know the distance is more than 1 kilometre because we've got 650 metres as well. So how many metres would that be altogether? Let's have a look down here and see what it tells us. So 1 kilometre and 650 metres is 1,000 metres, because we know there are 1,000 metres in 1 kilometre or kilometre. And then we've got that other 650 metres. So we need to add those together, okay? So 1,650 is equal to 1,650 metres. And remember that M means metres. And if you want to shorten kilometre, because it's quite a word, isn't it? The abbreviation is km, kilometre. Okay, so remember that if you're writing any of your answers now, you might need to do that. So let's have a look down here. Okay, so this is another way of showing it. So here in this box, we've got 1 kilometre, which is the same as 1,000 metres, 650 metres. So if you go across here, this is how you would read the distance. So 1 kilometre, 650 metres is equal to 1 kilometre, or 1,000 metres, 650 metres. And down here, it's got 1,650 metres, because if you added 1,000 to 650, if you look up here, that's the same as saying 1 kilometre, 650 metres. So all they've done here is they basically did it in part whole. So they put it into kilometres and metres, and then they've redrawn it down here, so it's just in metres. So the most important thing you need to remember is how many metres are there in a kilometre? What did you say? Yes, there are 1,000, and we know that because the prefix kilo means 1,000. So don't forget that. So 1 kilometre, 650 metres is equal to 1,650 metres. Okay, and that going across is the same. Let's go to the next slide. Right, you ready for this? So this is our guided practice. So what we need to do is write these distances with kilometres and metres into metres. So we know there are how many metres in a kilometre? That's right, 1,000. So here we've got 1,000. Oh, you have to excuse me, not my writing's like on these boards. So we've got 1,000 because 1 kilometre equals 1,000 metres. Add, well, that's really, was it 400? So 1,400 equals 1,400 metres. That's better. So this is our ones digit, this is our tens digit, this is our hundreds digit, and this digit here is our thousands digit. So we need to make sure we've got a 4-digit number when we're talking about kilometres. All right? I think that you can do this quite easily. So, it does get a bit tricky though. I want you to have a little think now, like I always do, and think, how do I write 3 kilometres and 45 metres in metres? Okay? Have a little think. If you know, I'm just going to rub this out here because it's so messy. That's it. Right. Do you know? Okay, so first of all, we know we've got 3 kilometres. So 3 lots of 1,000 is 3,000. Is that right? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? So that's 3,000 metres. So I'm going to write 3,000 metres. Now I'm looking at here, I can see there's a problem because I haven't got any 100 metres, have I? So I need to make sure that I include 0 as a placeholder to show that I haven't got any. So I've got 3,000 metres, 0 100 metres, but then I've got 4 tens, which is 40, and then 5 ones metres. So the answer to that question is 3,000, 0 100, and 45. 3,045 metres are the same as 3 kilometres and 45 metres. You should remember that because it's a bit tricky. Okay, same again down here. Look at this one here. So it says 5 kilometres and 5 metres. It's not many, is it? Can you work out what you think the answer is to that one? Okay, let's see if you're right. So first of all, I know that 5 kilometres is equal to 5,000 metres because 5 times 1,000 equals 5,000. Now, have I got any 100 metres there? No, I don't. So I must put a 0 in there as a placeholder to show I don't have any hundreds because I must have a 4-digit number when I'm talking about kilometres. Do I have any tens? No, I don't have any tens either, but I must put my 0 in there to show I don't have any 10 metres. But look, I do have some ones. I've got 5. So there we go. So that's my 4-digit number. I've got 5,000 metres, 0 100 metres, 0 10 metres. I have got 5 1 metres, and we read it like this: 5,005 metres. Okay, did you get that? You've got to remember 1,000 metres in a kilometre. I'm sure you're looking. Right, okay, so what we've got here looks like a lot of work, but when you actually look That's your sheet in your resource pack. It's not. So you have to go through and answer all these questions today. Okay, your resource pack. There's that question there, which looks tricky, but it's not. And then you've got these ones here. We have to draw a line to the correct answers. And then final one here is you've got to convert these times, which are in kilometers and meters, into meters, like we just did. If you have any problems, you can always rewind me and have a look at the guided practice again. Up to you. Okay, then when you've done this, there might be an answer sheet. Okay, so pause me now, and when you finish doing all this, only when you finish it, no peeking, can you come back and look at the answers? Okay, have you finished all those? You did a really good job. There is a challenge here, if you finish them really quickly as well, okay, which you can do. And this is all about estimating. You can go onto Google Maps if you want to and actually find out the correct distance. That would really impress your teachers. So estimate how far away is your house from the library? How far away is the school from your house? How would you find the exact distance to these places? I've just given you a bit of a clue there. But anyway, you can see. Right, let's see. Are the answers next? No, answers are on the next page. Remember what I said? No peeking. Okay, so when you're ready, go through, have a look at the answers, and you can mark your work yourself. Right, good luck with everything today. I'm sure you'll be amazing, and I'll see you tomorrow.